Hi everyone, welcome to Thursday. And of course, every Thursday we normally do a share and review. However, I've had a request come in from someone wanting me to do a review on the Real Estate Investment Property Trust. Now, we don't actually have a specific sector that I can pop in a ticker code for that, but we'll certainly take a look at some of the investments or companies that make up the real estate or the property sector here in the New Zealand market. But before I jump across, remember this is for educational purposes only, certainly not intended to be personalised financial advice. For that, you do need to go and have a chat to your own share broker. Right, let's have a look at the first chart that I've got. Okay, so my first chart here that I've got is Kiwi Income Property. And at a quick glance, you can see that this share is definitely in a downtrend. We'll pop on the indicators that I always use, which is the 30 exponential moving average. There we go. And you can see it's definitely trading below that, which is like if you watch Tuesday's video, it's definitely a negative sign for me. We will also pop on the 15-week moving average. And I also spoke about this on Tuesday as well. And you can see that around sort of March this year, the 15-week moving average closed below the 30-week, which is definitely a negative sign. Markets can keep falling. They can actually fall to zero. And so that's why I'm not in the game of trying to pick tops and bottoms. And you can pretty much see with Kiwi Property Group, really for the last sort of 5 years, it's just been in a downtrend. I mean, we saw a bit of a rally go through here sort of June last year, and it sort of hit a high point in October, but then it's just fallen. And overall, even if I put up the overall chart, you can see that Kiwi Property had a high back in September 2019, and that was basically around $1.67, and here we are now trading at 86 cents. So it's fallen a long way, and it's actually fallen quite quickly. And a lot of that was through this COVID period here. We had these 2 weeks in February 2020, which is when the market sold off generally for a lot of companies. 2 really big weeks of sell-offs, and it just hasn't recovered. Right, so let's go back to the 5-year chart. Now, I will take off these moving averages because this is going to make my chart get really quite noisy. What I can do, I can click on this comparison tab, and in the quote lookup, I can put in other ticker codes. So for example, let's put in PFI, so for property for industry. There it is here. And it brings up a line chart. In comparison, whoops, right, I'm not sure what happened with property for industry, but it deleted. So I've now chucked up GMT. And as you can see, whilst it doesn't follow property for industry exactly, it certainly is in a downtrend. I'll see if I can bring up, so it doesn't follow KPG, Kiwi Property Group. I'll see if I can bring up property for industry again. Yes, there we go. Okay, so you can see here, again, this one almost does mirror Kiwi Property Group, but again, it is still in a downtrend. So I'll take off GMT and just leave PFI up there. So it's obviously performing a little bit better than Kiwi Property Group by about sort of 0.71%, but it's still in a downtrend. We'll get rid of property for industry and we will have a look at Vital Healthcare. So again, Vital Healthcare, whilst it is doing, it's actually doing worse than Kiwi Property Group, but you can see here that these properties, real estate investment trusts, are actually all following a very, very similar path. Another one I've got here is Precinct Properties. Chuck that on the screen as well. Now you can compare and put all of them on at once, but it does make your chart really, really noisy. But you can see there's definitely a common theme. Okay, with all of these properties. So the last one I will pop on is Argosy, and again, no surprises. They're all in the same trend, unfortunately, and that trend is down. So I'll take that one off, and I'll also put an indicator on here. We'll put on the moving average again, but we'll put on a a 200. There we go. I like a 200 one at times, just because it's such a long, slow moving average. It just gives me a better picture as to what is happening with that particular share, if you like. And you can see here with Kiwi Property Group, it's definitely trading below. And to be honest, it will be the same with all of the real estate investment trusts. Occasionally, you might find within a sector one share that's sort of outperforming, but generally, most of the shares that make up a sector, and in this case, property, if you find most of them are in a downtrend, for me anyway, it's not a good sign. It means that I would not want to invest in property altogether if that's what's happening. If most of them are down, and there might be one exception to the rule. For me, I'm looking for sectors that are performing well, and obviously definitely trading above those moving averages. So I'll take that one off, and I'll see if we can bring up a comparison to the S&P NZSX 50. And for some strange reason, I cannot get that up. But if I can do it the other way. So I will pop in the NZSX 50 up this way. And what I will do is pop a comparison for Kiwi Property this way. So you can see here that Kiwi Property Group is underperforming the main board of the New Zealand Stock Exchange. That's Kiwi Property down here. So again, that to me is a real negative. Looking at the line though, you can sort of see from about September 2020 all the way through until around this period here, which was August 21, it was outperforming, and it was a good investment to hold back then. But you can see now we've got quite a big divergence between where the main board is for the New Zealand Stock Exchange and where Kiwi Property Group is. So for me at the moment, definitely not a share that I would be buying. Looks like the whole sector is in a complete downtrend, and again that is just another negative. So I really hope that's helped. If you'd like me to elaborate or extrapolate on anything further, sing out. And also if there are any other shares that you would like me to review and things or take a look at, again, put them in the comments, reach out to me. Happy to help, happy to further your education in the share market. Until next week, take care.